keeping a secret. I have a big wang. I'll get your head out of the gutter. Wing! Alright, before we talk about my wang, it's not even mine, but, kind of want to talk about, Sandblast, on kind of what transpired, and, you know, I kind of didn't talk about too much of it like I maybe did in the past, but I wasn't prepared for Sandblast, like I should have, and I didn't take it as serious as I should have, and I was out of shape. I was barely could fit my race. It was ridiculous. My head wasn't in it. You know, we had problems on the way that kind of didn't help the situation. Our tow rig, because I live in northern New York, you know, like if anybody knows, I'm about 2.5 hours or more, probably 2 hours north of Syracuse, and it was about probably a 15-hour drive, 16, even towing a truck, which turned into probably 18, 19. Basically, our tow rig, 2011 Ram 2500 with a 6.7 Cummins, you know, it was great the entire trip. Definitely crappy roads up in Pennsylvania, where it was basically hairpin after hairpin after hairpin. I'm going up trying to pick up my co-driver and the crew where he lives. I think it was New Hope, PA, and it was awful. And the truck did well, but I hated it. It was uncomfortable, tight roads, no shoulders. So whoever lives in PA, you know what I'm talking about, kind of in that area. Because it's not like that in New York. It is very, at least where I live and most of where I've been, it's quite open roads, even on a back road. There's a shoulder. In Pennsylvania, there's not. But that's besides the point. So fast forward, got the crew picked up, heading out. We get some amount of miles past DC, south of DC, and I lose power steering because I'm driving the tow rig and trailer and everything, and I'm like, what the hell? Not putting two and two together. Yeah, and then all of a sudden I get a warning, eventually, high temps, and, you know, then it's like, oh shit, and then kind of hit that max out 240 temp number on the gauge, and it's like, we gotta stop right now. Got an opportunity, got off to the, you know, road at a truck type of stop for only trucks, you know, semi trucks, and we checked that out. And so it's like, you know, I know Cummins 5.9, 6.7s pretty freaking well, because I have a 2007, and eventually I want to show you guys and build it, my dream build on that, how I want it, and that's got a 5.9, so I know those pretty well. And I'm like, it's a handful of things. I have fears of AC compressors. Hate those things because one locked up on me in the middle of winter in college, and I wasn't quite experienced. And yeah, it was just a crappy situation that I figured, you know, eventually figured out. Had some help, great. But looking around, turning some pulleys, the belt ended up kind of getting wrapped around the what was it, the fan of the truck, which, if you know on those, it's got mechanical, I think they're fluid coupler type of clutches, I think. I can't remember how they work on those trucks, but it's mechanical, not electrical. So it runs basically off, you know, the crank, you know, the pulley system. And so that's wrapped around. Eventually find out, get it off, it's one piece. So I go under there, you know, I have the crew, and, you know, they're college students at Alfred State, where I went for motorsports, current students, and they were great guys. For their age and what they know, they're still in college. They have definitely a future sports crewing, and if they want to go race, I think they'll do well. But moving on to that, basically I go under, start spinning stuff, and start coming the stuff, and originally I thought it was the idler pulley, and the bearing went to crap. But eventually, I figure out, start looking, I'm like, oh shit, that's the water pump. So we basically smoked the water pump bearing, and I understand because it was stop and go, and when I also hit, I think, Syracuse at a point, I went through a blizzard, because, you know, it was February, and roughly I knew it was going to happen, but wasn't sure it was going to be as bad as it was. It was pretty bad. It was like a whiteout. Yeah, it was pretty crazy for a while. Basically, me and the semi truck for the longest time are right next to each other. But what, it's hard to explain if not there. But friggin', so we fast forward, snowstorm. Not, you know, we're back and trucks broke down in DC, and I think we still have 5 more hours to go. Excuse me. And basically, you know, figured out it's a water pump, and I start calling around to parts stores. Hey, do you got a water pump for the, you know, the truck? I gave the information. Eventually, O'Reilly's was open. I work for Napa for our lubrication, separate than the Napa brand, but of course, Napa wasn't open because that's where I would have went first, and of course, they're not open. Try to advance first, just, you know, whatever. Then O'Reilly's had the water pump, the belt, you know, the antifreeze, coolant, good to go. And because a rally car is required to be legal, be able to transit on public roads, got the rally car right out of the trailer, grabbed one of the crew guys, sent it up right around the corner. It wasn't too far. We got lucky. There was an exit closed, and O'Reilly's wasn't too far away. It probably would have been a 5-minute drive, but friggin' DC and city slicker traffic, quite crap traffic nowhere. You know, that had some, maybe I should, but got through that. Like, I think it was 4:30 or something. Yeah, 4:30. I think it was 3:30, and I don't remember what time it is, but it was. But I think we were there all 3 hours, so I think might have there 2:30. Got out of there 6 something, maybe. I can't remember exactly. And I needed a break. Been driving 10 plus hours or something at that point. 5-ish, 8. I can't remember how many hours prior to picking up the boy alone through a snowstorm. I was beat. Basically got the parts and got everything the guys needed, and I'm like, go at it, guys. And they got it done and just decompressed, whatever. You know, let girlfriend know, of course, my mom, give them an update, what the hell's going on. It's my dad's truck. But it just, so the trip started off, because I think I left at 4:30 maybe that morning. So, so it was starting off not the best. So eventually we got down there. I think we got to the Airbnb, staying at midnight, maybe. No, it might have been later. 1, 2 o'clock, 3. So got down there. I was already contemplating. This is kind of like, yeah, I'm done with this race. I've had it. But, you know, in my blood, it's like, keep going at it. But, you know, it was hard to get motivation. Basically, you know, got everything going, whatever. Non-recce type of rally. So, old school style-ish. And we got our Gemba notes, basically like a car with a computer goes through the stages and basic calc spits out notes computer-wise. So you do the rally based on that experience, whatever, unless first time, whatever. So there was expecting rain-ish. So we had night stages on Friday with the event, and it was very awful rain. We had a problem with the rally car defrosting my co-driver's side, but not my side. And of course, yeah, part of the problem, not anti-fog in the windshield. Again, my fault not being ready for this. And so that happened. So we ended up pulling out of that. Kind of separate event from the main event. So, and it was awful. It's hard. So it's like, all right, let's go in free group, get to the next day. And I felt like shit pulling out of that because I'm not a quitter, but I think it was the safest thing to do. And so we go into the next day. I'm feeling better. Still not quite though, to be honest. And basically got to the first stage. I was like, all right, I'm ready. Going through the stage, about first couple miles were pretty good. I was like, all right, it's a little slippery, but not too bad. And eventually it's off dish. South Carolina, friggin' clay, muddy, sandy crap, you know, and people can take this whatever the way they want, but it was not worth me continuing. I probably shut off my car to reset it because it went into limp mode 4 or 5 times, if not more, to get power back, and it was not liking it. You know, these Dodge Dart have a limited slip, which they really not. So basically, when one wheel starts spinning too much, traditionally on these cars, because there's ABS system because there's a module on it, so I gotta have it plugged in, speed and whatnot, but no lines are for the ABS. So, you know, traditionally these cars break a wheel that's spinning fast, you know, hopefully the other wheel will catch up, but also apparently there's a system that basically cuts power, so if things are spinning much. So I had to reset the car 4 or 5 times, and it was a 10-mile stage. It was awful. I wasn't in it. especially after that. And I asked my co-driver how long the next stage. It's like 14, and I'm like, no, we're done. If that one's 10 miles, how many more times I'm going to do that? Am I going to hurt the car? I'm still developing this car, and I don't want to be backtrack on a lot of money for something grenading, breaking, just something going wrong that be. So I basically again pulled out of the rest of the event, but that you know, that was all the issue. Moving forward, I think I'm gonna change co-drivers. I'm gonna keep things separate to myself, but I think there's a change needed. Somebody younger, hungry co-drive, and I think I have somebody lined up potentially. Gotta get in contact with them, but that was part of the other considerable percentage I didn't feel comfortable too. But also other than that, when I got back, started looking under the hood, but started looking around. One of the pipe tube broke off fitting to the airbox. So maybe that was another reason. Seeing something really freaking weird. There's more air going into the system than there should be, but maybe I'm wrong. It makes no sense because all it is just air oil, basically catch can routing system, but also because there's extra air going in on the other side of the filter element, where it's not filtered, and maybe things aren't quite right here. So that might be another reason, but I think moving forward, finish this off because they're long enough. But some things are changing on the car, definitely. The big wang for sure. Of course, car goodbye. So new. But moving forward, more rear downforce. I'm gonna work on front downforce as well with a new setup splitter. And something else. Definitely changing up where the mounting is for the harnesses because it's quite uncomfortable. It's in a crappy spot where the buckle is, and it's bad. That needs to be changed. So I'm gonna put in some extra bars to make it closer. So that's one thing. What else? Helical differential from Quafey is going in it. I'm gonna start off with that. Major thing is putting a new one, Quafey in. Obviously, I'm gonna do a video on that and pulling the transmission out, leaving the engine in. Hopefully I should be able to do that. But start with that, and then if not, I'll have to change the tuning company that has the ability to get rid of that. I can't remember what it's exactly called, but basically reduced power mode for whatever that reason when the car says there's a problem, but there's really not. Odd amount of spinning, and it doesn't like it. So, and definitely coming in more professional, and honestly looking to win dual, or at least trying like hell. I think aerodynamics are gonna help. Definitely that Quafey differential. And E85 as well. I got one, but E85. The car is going to get changed over to E85. Already got fuel for a while. And basically got to change out the injectors. I'm going to change out the pump. I should be okay with the pump in it, but I want to change it out and make sure this car gets fuel it needs. To avoid another problem. So preventative maintenance, preventative upgrades basically. And then go from there. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'm sorry if this is really long. This is more of a talking video. So, if stayed this long, I appreciate it. And I definitely have more motivation in a better direction than I did before. And I think moving forward, I'm gonna definitely go on this next race. I'm gonna have more support, like I did New England last year, 2023. So I think that's gonna be another beneficial thing. But yeah, if you like this video, like and subscribe. Definitely I'm gonna get back to it. I'm gonna get this thing edited and up. I need to stop procrastinating. Just get this done. Stay focused. Stay on tap. Can hit everything. Just run over bulls. I don't care. Whatever it is. Run over Subarus. Tech. I'm gonna want it. So, thank you for watching. See you in the next video.